Steve Young reacts to Aaron Rodgers' postgame comments following loss to the Steelers. So the Jets, my God, what a horrible situation the Jets are in. The Jets are struggling, and they're struggling in every single facet of the game. They're struggling offensively, defensively. The wide receivers are struggling. The quarterback is struggling. Everyone's struggling. The coaches are struggling. The media is struggling. And we're going to hear what Steve Young and Dan Patrick have to say about it. This is coming on the heels of the Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely rolling the Jets on Sunday Night Football. And it might be over. It might be over, this little experiment with Aaron Rodgers in New York. So let's go ahead and listen to it and react.
Tell me what Aaron Rodgers is getting at. I'm going to play the question. You can hear the answer here.
Okay, I know.
How do you get everybody to keep the belief in? It seems like a lot of the same mistakes keep
Stop
happening
listening to you guys. Number one. Number two, got to be accountable, you know. I got to play better. That's the key. I got to play better. We got to find a way to run the ball better so we can action pass. I thought did some nice things in the passing game. Brees obviously had a couple of really nice ones. Spread the ball around to Tay, G, and Allen. Mike had a nice conversion. But we got to run the ball better, and I got to play better.
I mean, Rodgers, he kind of reminds me of a fan sometimes, like with the way he talks. Like, because it's always a random person's fault for why they lost. First, it was Robert Salah. Then it's Mike Williams. Then it's because they don't have Devontae Adams. And now it's the media. You know, like, the truth is that the team is just not very good. If you look at the Jets, so this is from the 33rd team. This is where Aaron Rodgers' 2024 stands compared to his other seasons. Second to last in completion percentage, last in passer rating, last in touchdown interception ratio, last in EPA per dropback, last in explosive play percentage. Kevin Cole has him right now EPA 2024 quarterback efficiency, EPA per play on minimum 100 dropbacks. Rodgers is 21st. So Rodgers is not playing well at all. And maybe the most damning stat, and this is from week 7. This is from Sunday Night Football. His air yards an attempt. You can see Sam Darnold was 6.9, Goff 6.5, Lawrence 6.2, so on and so on. Aaron Rodgers is 2.9. 2.9 air yards an attempt. That is below Daniel Jones, below Bo Nix, below Spencer Rattler, below Anthony Richardson, below Tyler Huntley. How did Rodgers end up here? 2.9. Rodgers kind of reminds me, like if you watch the Jets, they remind me almost like a backyard football team. Like the plan basically is to snap the ball, let Rodgers just kind of work, find an open receiver and try and just slot it in there. That's it. There's no screens, there's no play action, there's nothing. Like there's hardly any motion. All you really see is Rodgers back there just kind of, it's almost like he's calling, like I don't know if you, like when you played football growing up, like with your dad or something, where he would just kind of on the back of the football go like, all right, give me an out, or give me an out and up, or go here and then here. Like it feels like they're drawing up the plays just as the game goes, and it's turning into absolutely nothing. I mean, offensive DVOA, the Jets are 21st. Excuse me. The pass, they are they're the 20th team passing. They're the 29th team rushing. I mean, that is not the kind of EPA, that is not the kind of air yards, that is not the kind of DVOA you expect for an offense with Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and now Devontae Adams. I mean, this is just a nothing burger of an offense, and it's not the kind of offense, like if we look at what Rodgers has going on this year, you're looking at 61% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns, 7 picks. I mean, he threw a horrible pick. The Garrett Wilson pick last night wasn't his fault, but the interception before halftime, tough to do. I mean, just you look across the board, it's just not much. 50.3 QBR. It's just ugly. It's ugly across the board right now for the Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
The media is in his head. Why
Yes.
would he say stop listening to you guys?
You don't. I've always said it's a 3-ring circus. They're all under the same tent, different rings. There's the media, there's the fans, and then there's the game. but you have to recognize everybody's in it together. You have to. And if you try to make enemies of one of the three rings, it's gonna be painful. It's a painful way to try to play and find bounty, right? And so when you start to point people, the media, it's like, it's not worth it. You've got to stay away from that. It's easy and it makes you feel good for a second, but it's not. You have to, it's a part of what we're doing. Do your job and just move on. And if you want to ignore them, then ignore them. But
Rodgers is kind of a rebellious, us against them, anti-authority kind of figure in his later years. So it doesn't surprise me at all that in New York, one of the hotbeds for the media when it comes to sports media, it doesn't surprise me at all that during a skid where the season is on the brink, some would say the season is over, but where he is struggling to this extent, it doesn't surprise me with the amount of flack that he's probably getting in New York. It doesn't surprise me that he's kind of turned to this narrative of it's us against them, me against you. Rodgers has certainly been that character the last couple of years, and right now he is as backed into a corner as it gets. And Rodgers also is in an interesting world because he really has no repercussion. Like, he's basically managing the team. I mean, when you look at the Jets and you look at Rodgers goes there, you look at the wide receivers where, Lazard, Devontae, you look at the coach, Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett is basically on salary to be Rodgers' friend. He's doing nothing. He's not calling plays anymore. He's just there. So Rodgers has handpicked everything. Handpicked everyone, handpicked everybody. They lose, he gets the coach fired. They lose, they go get his choice of wide receiver. Like, everything is built for Rodgers. Everything down to the cadence. I mean, we heard where him and Salah were having arguments on the cadence and the tempo that this team, like, it is everything from, I was going to say the offensive coordinator, but that's not even true. Everything from coaching, who's on the coaching staff, to who the receivers and skill players are, to how fast the offense is moving, is all Rodgers. And he has absolutely no repercussion. There's no chance he gets benched, obviously. His career is already what it is. This is all just kind of lanyard. He's just trying to have that Tom Brady last year of where he drags a team to a playoff run or a Super Bowl or a conference championship. That's what he's trying to do. But in totality, there is no, it can't fall on him, which is crazy because he's the quarterback and he's not playing well at all right now.
But if you want to make it something, it makes it bigger. Like, stop listening to it, makes it bigger. It's a rebound. So it's not worth it. The other things he said were really great, right? It's about me, number one. That's what any great quarterback's going to say. If you don't say that, you're not going to be able to gather your teammates. They're not going to come fight for you. So he did a good job there saying, look, it's about me. Yeah.
It is kind of funny how he's like, well, first thing we got to do is quit listening to the media. But now that that's out of the way, it's on me. I'm accountable. I got to be better. It's like, well, you said you said the first thing. You said that first thing. It's very difficult now for me to believe that second part when you already said the first thing where you weren't being accountable at all. So, and you also, I'm a little confused, Aaron.
Yes. Number one, that's the truest truth for every quarterback. Never lose that truth. Truest truth. And the other truths, yeah, we got to run the ball. We got to do some stuff. I thought that was really smart, but we get off of the theme that we need to stop listening to me. That just makes it a bigger thing. Like, stop, move on.
I mean, this is one game for Downing because this is before the Sunday Night Football, but right now they're at 3%. They're at 3% play action, 28% motion, 3% play action, and 8% screen. So, the offense is just kind of stale. Like, the offense is just kind of stale. The offense is just kind of predictable. The offense is just kind of whatever, and it shows. I mean, it shows in every single metric you can have. Let's look at Rodgers on the season. Let's go to the full season here. If you look at if you look at Rodgers for the full season, he's got you're looking at 3.5 air yards an attempt. Ugh. God. I mean, like you can look at the 2.9 or whatever, it's one bad week, but I mean, you look at someone like, I mean, it's just not it for Rodgers. You can't have someone like that at that level controlling the entire team, controlling the franchise, and he's giving you the same explosiveness as Skylar Thompson and Bo Nix. I mean, it's a sinking ship. The Jets tried something. We thought it could work. Obviously didn't, but it's gotten ugly. It's gotten to the point now where, what do you do if you're the Jets? Because you went all in on this. You went all in on this Aaron Rodgers experiment. Didn't get a chance to utilize it last year. Now let's look at defensive DVOA, because the defense has been, the pass defense has been good for the Jets, but the run defense has been non-existent. You look at the pass defense, I mean, even the pass defense now is bad. DVOA defense, the Jets are 21st. Their pass defense is 18. God. Pass defense is 18. Run defense is down to 25. I mean, it's just not a winning program. It's just not a winning team. Nothing about the team currently is good. And they're in an all-in situation. And what do you do now? Right? Like, that's the danger of what the Jets are doing is, what do you do now? You're not moving forward with Devontae Adams. You're not moving forward with Aaron Rodgers. You're not moving forward with whatever combination of coaches that you currently have. You think Nathaniel Hackett will be on the staff once Rodgers leaves? No, obviously not. And there's no one waiting in the wings. You're all in on a very old quarterback and his idea of this team. It is tough to be a Jets fan right now. It is an ugly time to be a Jets fan. And it's just crazy to see how far the defense has dropped. It's crazy to see, because last year they were the best defense in the NFL. This year, Pro Football Focus had them going into the season the number one defensive line, the number one linebacker group, and the number one secondary. Number one defense with a bullet. And this year, you're looking at a defense down here with the Bengals, worse than the Bengals, with the Colts, the Falcons, way worse than the Browns. Ugh. Tough, man. And that's the worst thing, too. Like, it's okay if you play the season out and you make the playoffs or you win the division or whatever and it doesn't work out. You don't win the ultimate goal. You at least chased it. Like, you at least went all in. But to go all in, to chase it, and to have 3 games under 500, sweet. Absolutely no parachute, absolutely no security blanket, absolutely no way out of it. Just, all right, well, I guess we'll just let Rodgers run this fantasy football team, and then whatever happens, and then I guess we'll just lose everybody. And then we'll just draft someone, I suppose, or I don't know. It's ugly, man. But crazy stuff from Rodgers. I'll say this, he's a hell of a soundbite. But let me know, ladies and gentlemen, is the Jets season over, or do you believe? Do you think Aaron Rodgers can pull a rabbit out of the hat? Let me know. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.